Hello, everybody. Today I'm talking about debilitation of Venus and continuing with the Debilitated Planets Masterclass. And Venus is the significator of relationships, and its debilitation is at 27 degrees of Virgo. Does that mean that if Venus is debilitated, we will not have relationships? Let us explore. Hello, I'm Komilla Sutton, and we are talking about debilitation of Venus. So, before that, do remember to subscribe, press the bell notifications. I'm doing a number of master classes on debilitated planets, on Vimshotari Dasha, on aspects of mantras. So, a lot of things that you can study and genuine, serious study of the subject. So, if you subscribe and press the bell notification, you'll get the notice as soon as I post. I don't post like exactly on Tuesday or Thursday or anything. I post as the planets are telling me to do. So that is something that you better off getting the bell notification. So anyway, going on to Venus debilitation. Venus is the only planet that is debilitated and vargottama. So 27 degrees of Virgo is Virgo Navamsha or Navamsha Pada as well. So Venus going into debilitation means it's vargottama. So what that means to me is that it is what it is. Outside, inside is the same thing. Generally, we regard that all of Virgo is a debilitation sign for Venus. And then, always you zoom in more and more. So, first you say Venus is debilitated in Virgo. Then you look at Venus is debilitated in Chitra Nakshatra because that is where the exact degree of debilitation of Venus, 27 degrees of Virgo, is located. And that 27 degrees of Virgo is the vargottama position. So it is quite strong, yet it is debilitated. Now, Venus, element of Venus in the five great elements is water. What happens is that Virgo is the earth sign. So you see that water and earth here, Venus, the earth, it becomes like mud. So Venus in Virgo can become very involved in material things. It can get stuck in a mud situation. It can dry out. The water can be, that softness of Venus can go away. Venus gets debilitated every year. So if you're born sort of around September, October, that is the time Venus is possible to be debilitated because Venus is always close to the sun. So when sun is in Virgo, Leo, Virgo, or Libra, it can be in Virgo. So you have to see that timing is most likely that you may have Venus in Virgo in your chart. So every year Venus will go into Virgo around that time. But we don't know, every year it's slightly different, and to be conscious of that. And Venus in Virgo is very analytical and perfectionist. Great thing for people to be analyzing things, or editors or critics, or they have a great eye for beauty. You see people, Venus in Virgo, are very beautiful because they are very virginal, very pure, but there too much of perfection is there. And they can be super critical, and they can sometimes, in that criticism, they forget the softness of Venus. Remember, that mud that gets dried, or when you put water in earth, then the earth soaks up the water, so it can become very practical. And what we say, nitpicking, always small things, being critical of that. Now, does Venus in Virgo mean that it is negative for marriage? No, it is not negative for marriage. You will see people with all types of Venus getting married. So it is only that if you have Venus in Virgo, you are a great perfectionist. You want a perfect marriage. If you're a man, you want the most beautiful wife. And so you're so fussy that sometimes you don't get married for that reason, because nobody's matching up to your expectations. So that is just very important to take note of, that you're not being over fussy. Then very often Venus is not really debilitated, because in Vedic astrology we have the concept of Neechabhanga Raja Yoga, or cancellation of debilitation. And because Mercury is also orbiting close to the sun, very often Venus and Mercury are together. And so Mercury is in Virgo, Venus is in Virgo. So Mercury supports its lord and creates strength for Venus. Then, if Jupiter is strong, because Venus is exalted in Pisces, then Jupiter can also support. If Jupiter is in Kendra, in Sagittarius or Pisces, that can also support. Then if Venus is in Navamsha, then also it can support. Venus will be in Navamsha in the Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra. Venus is in Uttara Phalguni, it can be in Pisces Navamsha, so that also brings cancellation. So usually there are many other rules of cancellation as well, so you have to see whether the debilitation is cancelled. But the debilitation will always bring some weakness, but the cancellation means that you can overcome it. And then I've always said, when you're looking at the strength of the planet, you want to see, is it strong in Shadbala? Is it strong in Vimshopaka? Is it strong in Ashtakavarga? Sometimes, there's a lot of strength. And so you're just a Venus in Virgo, very analytical, super perfectionist, but there is no weakness. I usually see that when a planet is debilitated during its dasha or sub period, it will always bring health issues. So Venus in the body rules the hormones, it rules the pancreas. So you need to see, if you have debilitated Venus, you can have problems according to that. It also represents the semen. So these various aspects of what Venus represents, and during the dasha period of Venus, and Venus's dasha is the longest, it's 20 years long. So, you have to just watch your health at that time if the Venus debilitation is there. There's degrees of it. You may have a 10% problem, or you have a 50% problem. So you have to see the chart to see exactly what is the issue there. So what are the remedies for Venus? Of course, you can do the mantra for Venus and do the Nama mantra. You can do the Gayatri mantra. You can do the chanting for Venus. That would be good. Then you are also just common sense that you are being careful. You're not being overcritical, and especially in marriage and your expectation from marriage, to try to manage that. Not to think, oh, I'm going to be I want everything perfect, and not try to, analyze everything and split the hair and all that. That is important. And not try to criticize your spouse, especially if you're a man. You're very unrealistic of what you're expecting from your spouse. So be conscious of that. The Devata or the deity for Venus is goddess Lakshmi. So you can worship her. And, what you want to do with Venus in Virgo is you want to put some juice into your life. So also be cautious. Sometimes I see that Venus in Virgo can be the other extreme, not bothering about how they dress, how they look, so you have to be conscious that, what are the clothes you're wearing, how you're dressing, wearing, if you're, a little bit of jewelry, if you're a guy wearing nice shirt, just being well presented, because that's the other extreme of Venus in Virgo, to be conscious of that. Experience Venus in Virgo during the dasha. So any planet is experienced during the dasha and subdasha. So during that time, it is important to do the remedies. Then once a year, Venus goes into debilitation by transit. So I always watch it, and especially for Libra Lagna, Venus goes into the 12th house every year. And that is around September, October, to watch its transit, to be aware that all of us will experience once a year Venus in Virgo. And therefore, we can also be very fussy and particular, and it can affect us. But it can affect Taurus as well. But for Taurus, Venus goes into the 5th house, which is more creativity and ideas and children. So it's relatively easy for Taurus to experience Venus in Virgo than for Libra to experience. But all of us can have some Venus in Virgo experience once a year. But it comes every year. Venus will go into Virgo, usually, as I said, in August, September, October, around that time. So you have to watch for each year. Now, so that is it for this. And let me know in the comments any ideas you want me to pursue, any lectures, anything you want me to further say about these debilitated planets as well.